Hello, this is James Patterson, the Director of Grants and Scholarships with the Community Foundation, and I'm going to walk you through our Grant Seekers PowerPoint that we gave at our Grantseekers Meeting. And we'll start just by getting a little bit of information about the Community Foundation in Northern Illinois. We were established in 1953 as the Rockford Community Trust, changed our name to the Community Foundation in 2003. We do serve Boone, Ogle, Stevenson, and Winnebago counties. That is our service area. We have 400 funds and 80 scholarships at the Community Foundation. We have awarded 33 million grants in grants and scholarships just in the past decade. And one of the great things is that we now have $87.5 million in assets, and 90% of those are permanent. Now that's a really good thing because that means they will not go away, but they will continue to serve this community in perpetuity. So that's a good thing. We pride ourselves at the Community Foundation in being fair and objective as grant makers. We do have a 20-member board of trustees. These are people from the community that serve on our board of trustees. And we have over 150 community advisors as well, in addition to these board members that serve on our grant-making committees. And these are, again, people from the community in various walks of life that give us a very good range of perspectives. So we aim for transparent and fair determinations for our grants. We have many different grant programs, as you can see by this slide here. Community grants is our largest one and broadest. Grants there can range anywhere in size from $2,000 to $104,000. Actually, there's really no limit on the size except for the amount of money that we have available in a particular year. But that just gives you some idea that there is a very, very broad range there. And Community Arts and Humanities is for just what it sounds like it is, for the arts and humanities. And there your grant sizes are in the $3,000 range. That's sort of an average. But again, there's not a hard and fast cap. The Margaret K. Aldine Christian Ministry Fund is to meet the food, housing, and medical needs of the poor, especially through organizations that have a Christian emphasis. Average grant size there is $2,500. United Cerebral Palsy of the Black Hawk Region grant program has an average grant size of about $3,000. And that's really for organizations that are doing projects working with the developmentally disabled, helping them get out into the community and be part of our community. And it's not really for those things that an organization should already have in their budget. A few other grant programs that we have are the John W. Lundeen Historic Preservation Fund, and that is just what it sounds like. It's to preserve Rockford's rich history. Average grant size would be $2,000. And Schneider Electric Buildings is another grant program. This is from a wonderful collaboration we have with the Schneider Electric Buildings Company. That is a company that originally would have been Barbara Coleman, which of course was a very important company for our region. This is the predecessor company. So the average grant size there is about $4,500, and again, fairly broad in what they fund through Schneider there. And Club Blue is a brand new grant program, and that's a partnership with the Club Blue group, and they will be making grants to organizations that promote safety, health, and well-being of children in need in our community. Now, there is more information on all of those grant programs on our website, so please go to our website at www.cfnil.org. And if you're looking at this PowerPoint, you probably have been there, but that's where you're going to get more detailed information about our grant programs. We support projects that are collaborative. Collaboration is a very important thing that the Community Foundation does look at with regard to the projects that we fund. Cannot overemphasize the importance of that. We are looking for innovative solutions to community issues, and we like to think of our grantees as our partners in innovation and finding new ways to tackle the issues that we face today. We're looking for projects that are preventative and that get to the root cause of the problems that we face in our community. These are more effective ways of dealing with the problems rather than dealing with the symptoms. So those are important things that we're looking for. The other things are also important, but I'll let you read that. Projects that would be ineligible, and this is kind of a short list here, but it's very important that you have all your final or interim reports in. If you have outstanding grants with the Community Foundation, it either needs to be closed because you've turned in your final report, or on the other hand, there's an interim report letting us know the progress of that particular project and why you haven't been able to complete a final report at this point. We do not grant to annual campaigns or capital campaigns. Also, if you've had a project funded by the Community Foundation 3 years in a row, you'll need to take 2 years off before applying for that particular project again. And we will not fund general operating expenses. The operating expenses that we will fund must be directly related to the project that you're proposing. You may know that the Community Foundation received over the last year several contributions that have allowed us to make larger grants and to consider multi-year requests more so than in the past. But to be considered for these larger grants or multi-year requests, there are some additional considerations. First of all, the organization that's applying must have a 501c3 for at least 5 years, be recognized as a 501c3 for at least 5 years. The projects absolutely must be collaborative and in a greater way even than the other grant programs. It's a point of emphasis no matter what, but especially with these larger requests and multi-year requests. And we're going to ask for letters of support from partners, from your partners, to substantiate that, and so we can see their passion for the project as well. These projects should build on existing efforts that already have momentum in our community, and so not necessarily just stand alone, but this will increase the effectiveness of the projects that are being funded. We will ask you to submit the last 2 years of audited financials, and it may require that we do a grant interview or a site visit to receive one of these projects, or a grant for a multi-year grant or a larger grant over $50,000. A few tips for grant writing. It is a competitive process. It would be important for you to be as concise as possible. As I mentioned, we have many community members that are reading these applications, and they do have to read quite a few of them. So the more concise, the better, and getting your point across in that way so that it's easier to read, but you're still making your point. The other thing we would encourage you to do is to brainstorm with a group. That way you get multiple perspectives and additional ideas on how to present the project that you're doing. It'll be more successful that way. And then, of course, one person can sit down and actually do the application itself. Your application should reflect your passion for the project, as that, it's important that whoever is writing the application is someone who is very, very familiar with the project so that they can have that passion come out, and so that the people who are reading it can really understand why it's important that it be funded. A couple other things to keep in mind. We do prioritize projects that come in from non-tax supported organizations. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not that we will not fund organizations that are tax supported, but the priority goes to our nonprofits. Would also make sure that you know that if you are working with the school districts, Rockford Public Schools, Harlem District, or Belvedere, that you will need to get written pre-authorization. And there's a form on our webpage, on all of our grant web pages, that you can download and submit to the school district so that you can get that pre-authorization. It's important that, we feel it's important that the school district be aware of the project that you're doing and give us a sense of how important it is for them as well. All right, so looking at our deadlines, the application submission deadline is October 1st for these programs that we've just talked about. October 1st at 5 p.m. And we have the application available currently. We had it up on August 20th for you to go in and begin completing those. And just another note to make sure that you have your interim and final reports in. If your application is accepted, and that's always the goal, we would hope that you would promote the partnership that you have with the Community Foundation in many of the ways that are on this slide right here, through the media and through social media. And we're happy to help with that as well. Dan Deneen, who you'll find his contact information on the website as well, is happy to help in many ways. The other thing we would ask you to do is to sign and return the grant agreement letter as soon as possible so that we can turn around the checks in a efficient manner. And it's always important to keep in touch with the Community Foundation if there are alterations or unspent dollars from your grant. And just a note, if you are not funded, no does not mean forever. We routinely have to decline about 40 to 50% of all requests that come in simply because the dollars are not available. So please do not think that if it was not funded that it will never be funded. It may be that at a different time it could be. So, or maybe there's another project that your organization is doing that could be funded. So we do encourage you to go to our website and complete an application. And after you've reviewed all the guidelines and you've begun the application, if you have specific questions, we'd be happy to answer those. So thank you all, and I hope this has been helpful.